Big huge bag of mulch, which I'm going to have to break up because it's all compressed in this bag and it'll be a nightmare to get out. But the reason I'm talking about mulch this week is because, do you remember that video I posted the other week when I basically just went and stole, I was going to say strawberries, tomatoes from the greenhouse before work? Kate gave me a rollicking for sharing that video because we hadn't weeded the bed and you could see all the weeds. I tried to explain that I tried to keep it real on this video and I show you the good and the bad, but she wasn't up for that, so I got in trouble. So now I have to get the bed mulched to try and deal with weeds. But it has other benefits, so let's go and have a chat about mulch. Okay. I was going to say it's a tutorial today. I don't like that term. It's not a tutorial. We are just sharing the love in the garden today. Now, it has rained non-stop for 24 hours. The ground is very soggy and there's a big huge black cloud just appeared. So I am not entirely certain if we'll get this done before the rain comes on, but we will try. So this then, let's talk about what is mulch. Basically, mulch is a covering that you put on top of your soil, okay? That's the key, on top of the soil, okay? Now, a lot of people talk about mulch and they get mixed up and they talk about compost, okay? Now, the thing is, compost can be a mulch, and we're going to talk today about what the mulch is, how you use it, when compost is a mulch, when it's not, and all those other really interesting things. Same as usual. We'll keep it real, we'll keep it simple, as always in this garden. So I've got some examples here. There's a whole lot more than this. This is just what I can get my hands on that's in our garden. But I've got 4 options here, okay? Now, 2 are inorganic and 2 are organic. Okay, now when I talk about organic in terms of mulch, we're not talking about organic like organic gardening where you don't use chemicals and stuff, okay? Simply organic when it comes to mulch means that it was once alive. So the 2 that I've got to show you here, one of the most common ones is this. This is just shredded bark. Okay, this is really, really common. And you'll see this a lot. Now, you guys have seen me use something similar before. I've got a big box of big wood chips that I put into the compost to kind of act as an aerator in the compost. It keeps little pockets of oxygen. This is much, much finer than that, okay? And of course, it's bark, so it's organic. The other organic one is this. Now, there's too much wind for this. It's going to go everywhere. Basically, it is straw. Okay, again, straw, organic, once was alive. And be careful, straw, not hay, okay? Because hay can still have seeds and things in it, can cause problems. Straw. Now, that's our 2 organics, okay? The 2 inorganics I've got is this one, which is just good old grit. You'll probably see it labelled as horticultural grit. In Scotland, we call that chuckies, basically small stones. Now, you guys have seen, filthy. This is actually from the garden, hence why it's not all beautiful, nice colours. I tried to wash it. Okay, you guys have seen, we've got the red chuckies around the beds and different areas of the garden, and that's the ones that we walk on. This is a much finer one, and it's purely for aesthetics. It goes on as a mulch on the beds that are quite visible, because you know, we want it to look nice. Now, the other one I've got here is this. It's good old weed-proof membrane. Okay, this stuff is fab. Now, I have heaps of this in the shed because it is awesome for things like strawberry beds, but every year I forget about it and I plant the bed up. And I did it again last week. With this stuff, you need to put it in place before you plant up your bed, and you cut holes on it and put the plant through it. It's a bit difficult if you've already planted up. Okay, so really, really simply, but what I've got to hand to show you then, that's mulches. Now, I mentioned compost, and here's the thing. If you, like me, I dig compost into all of my beds, okay, because it's really good for the soil. That organic matter in the soil helps to really enrich it and improves your soil, okay? And when you dig it in like that, that is a soil improver, okay? But if you put it on the top, spread it across the whole bed on top, that's when it's a mulch. And that's what these all are. On the table like this, they're just stuff. When we put them on our beds, that's when it's a mulch. And what we do is we put about a 2 to 3 inch layer, okay, no more than that, and we spread that on top of our beds around all the plants and things, but being careful, especially with the organic stuff, all of it, but especially, you don't want to pack it up against the stems because that can just encourage things to rot. You want to make a little sort of circle around your plants where it is, and it does this. It puts that layer on top of the soil, okay? So in summer, it helps to keep moisture in your soil if it's really sunny and hot. Never is here in Scotland, but hey, you know, so that's why you do it there. Or in winter, which is why I'm about to do it in this bed, it's like a wee blanket that keeps your soil and your plants all protected a wee bit from the cold and the frost. First raindrop. Okay, and the other thing that you can do with this stuff is you put that wee layer on top, and remember we said weed-proof membrane? It helps to reduce the amount of weeds that come through. With me, it doesn't completely stop them, but it really does make a difference. We've got this stuff in the rockery and the shrubbery out front, and it makes a massive difference. This, obviously, will probably completely eliminate them, which is why it's called weed-proof. But I keep forgetting. And this, again, you've seen me pulling weeds out the strawberry bed when I've got this in the strawberry bed, but it's much less than there would be, okay? Now, the reason I use different things in different areas, I've mentioned this is purely aesthetic, okay? I use this in the vegetable beds because this can actually be kind of incorporated into the soil over time and stuff. It's not a big drama, and it becomes a bit of a soil improver, which this does as well. But the thing with this one is, it's much, much easier to move out of the way if I'm wanting to replant things, like if I'm working with the carrots and the beetroot and all that kind of stuff, and you're doing succession planting. Can you hear the ducks? That time of the year, we're going to get a fly past. We get ducks and geese. If you can't hear them, this is not going to make any sense to you. Right, so yes, so it's dead easy to move this about, okay? And then you've seen me talk about it in my strawberry video. I'll link it up here. But at the end of the year, that goes in my compost, and it's a brown in the compost, okay? Now, this stuff, same idea, okay? Now, you can see this, it's quite dark, okay? This is just the standard shredded bark colour it comes in. You will see in the various garden centres, you get all sorts of different colours because obviously people use it as a, like I do with this one, an aesthetic topping on their beds, okay? So you will get stuff that's dyed and you'll get red and black and all that kind of stuff. To be honest, I wouldn't touch that stuff with a barge pole. I wouldn't want to put dyed wood in my beds. Yeah, so I just go with the natural colour, and that's fine. It's kind of like soil colour. It's not the end of the world to me. Now, you will hear this stuff. Some people worry about putting it on their beds because this hasn't finished breaking down yet, and as it's breaking down, it can leach some of the nitrogen from the soil, so some people worry about using it. I don't, because I do put so much organic matter and feed my soil as much as I can, so I'm not really worried about this too much because I know how good quality my soil is. But okay, in a nutshell, that's what mulch is. Okay, and like I say, we're just going to put an inch to maybe up to 3 inches on top of the beds, no more than that. Okay, and then what you're going to do, like I say, this will start to break down. So if you're using an organic mulch, you will have to replace it. Okay, it won't last forever. You have to think maybe here it lasts just about a season to 2 seasons here, depending on what you use. Keep an eye on it, and when you decide the time is right, you can refresh it. Right, I am now going to actually go and put this on the bed before the rain comes. So there we go then, mulch. It's decorative, it can look nice in your garden, make your beds look nice. It's a cosy blanket to help protect things from really cold temperature drops and snow and stuff in winter. In summer, it stops everything getting dehydrated, stops the beds drying out, and bonus, it can help suppress the weeds. Question is, other than effort, why haven't you done it yet? Okay, I'm going to get finished off. As usual, smack that like button, grow those likes if you like this type of content, not tutorials, but sharing videos, sharing the love videos. And as always, if you hit subscribe and that little bell, you'll get notified whenever I post a new video, which should be every Sunday at 12. I'm going to get finished up here. Feel free to go and watch the back catalogue. They'll be here. See you guys.